No likelihood of appearing in what he says. King Charles is 75 and facing a royal tempest he never saw coming. Prince Edward broke his decades-long silence on Princess Diana, shocking the monarchy. Feelings boiled over. Charles was visibly disturbed by shame and memories when secrets reappeared. As the past returns, the truth threatens to change everything we knew. What said Edward? Why now? Come explore. Prince Edward was the quietest royal for decades. Edward went unnoticed while others generated headlines, scandals, or uproar. No daring interviews, declarations, or disobedience. They value it greatly. Each person has unique recollections and stories. Our hearts go out to them all. He exuded loyalty and calmness. The kind of royal who never broke the rules. Compared to his more talkative siblings, he may have appeared distant or uninteresting. It was much more complicated behind that stillness. He witnessed everything but said nothing. Edward knew something. Far from it. He observed the royal family survive storms that threatened their unity. He observed Charles and Diana's marital conflict before the media, seeing how their outward smiles hid their pain and treachery behind palace walls. He saw the House of Windsor steadily crumble. Internal attacks, not external ones. Prince Andrew's scandal, Camilla displeasure, and Princess Diana's breakdown. Edward witnessed everything. He never mentioned it. Not once. That intrigued folks. Why was he silent? Was he scared? Was he guarding something? It was never fear, according to friends. It was loyalty. Ed believed in duty. He believed the royal family should stay unified and safeguard their image, whether perfect or not. Edward kept his thoughts to himself while others interviewed or created documentaries. The royal family's silent guardian would observe but not interfere. Prince Edward, 61, broke his silence after most believed he would die to his thoughts and memories. His farewell speech didn't address politics or palace turmoil. He chose a more personal and frightening topic. Princess Diana. His choices surprised many. After all, Diana's narrative has been told in books, films, and interviews, but never by him. Edward had kept his feelings regarding her quiet for years, but now he was ready to disclose them. Wasn't simply sentimental words. His words mattered. They suggested secrets, quiet relationships, and suffering the world never saw. What finally made Prince Edward speak after years? Is it remorse, grief, or the weight of too many secrets hidden too long? Whatever the cause, his voice has added a fresh element to Diana's and the royal family story. A silent voice now echoes with emotion, sparking questions that may finally reveal the palace's long-hidden truth. Discover Diana and Edward's special bond. The palace never understood this link. Princess Diana and Prince Edward shared neither love nor jealousy. It was tougher to explain. Their relationship was discreet yet intense in a royal realm where feelings were often veiled beneath rules and appearances. It relied on empathy, understanding, and shared agony that no one else saw. Their relationship was a whisper in a silent mansion. Diana was pushed into royal life early. She was supposed to grin, wave, and act like a princess. Diana felt lonely behind the titles, elaborate costumes, and flashing cameras. Many palace residents dismissed her melancholy as weakness. They didn't want to face her honesty or need for aid. The old royal rules said she wasn't acting like a princess. Ed viewed things differently. She didn't seem dramatic or rebellious. He saw a woman stuck in an unsuitable existence. Most people kept their distance, but Edward did something simple yet profound. Are you okay? In a world that demanded silence, that small question meant everything. Edward noticed what others missed. He saw the tears hidden behind Diana's smile, the tension beneath her graceful manner, and the loneliness deep in her eyes. When Diana entered a room, Edward was often the only one who stood and walked toward her, not to show off or because he had to, but because he truly cared. These quiet moments formed the beginning of their special bond. Their connection wasn't about romance or politics. It was a deep friendship built on respect and emotional safety. They didn't need long talks or grand gestures. Their closeness lived in looks, brief words, and shared silences. In a family that often valued image over feelings, Diana and Edward found something genuine. Some insiders say Diana once wrote privately that Edward understands me in a way Charles never cared to. That line reveals so much. Even when her husband kept his distance, Edward stood quietly beside her, both a witness to her pain and a silent protector. This friendship didn't just affect Diana. It changed Edward too. Known as the most reserved of Queen Elizabeth's children, he stayed quiet even during family scandals. But Diana's pain left a lasting mark on him. Long after she was gone, Edward carried the weight of what he had seen and what he couldn't change. Their relationship was rare, fragile, and deeply human. Born in the shadows of a palace that struggled to handle emotion, it may have changed them both forever, because in the cold world of royalty, sometimes the greatest gift you can offer someone is simply to care. Diana and Edward's quiet bond showed true humanity, proving kindness and understanding create lasting connections beyond palace walls. Now let us explore the moment that changed everything. The day the palace wept in secret. When Princess Diana died in that tragic car crash on August 31st, 1997, the world stopped. Millions wept. Streets overflowed with flowers, handwritten notes, and candles. People cried openly in the middle of the day. Even those who had never met her felt like they had lost someone close. Diana wasn't just a princess. She was the people's princess. Her warmth, honesty, and courage had touched hearts across the globe. But while the public grieved so openly, something felt very wrong. The royal family stayed silent. Days went by with no statement, no public appearance, no show of emotion. Not even the Union Jack flag above Buckingham Palace was lowered to half-mast. People began to feel that the monarchy, the very institution Diana had once married into, was heartless, cold, and completely out of touch with the pain the world was feeling. Questions turned into outrage. Where was the Queen? Why hadn't Prince Charles spoken out? Did anyone in the palace even care? But while that silence filled television screens and newspaper headlines, something else was happening quietly, far away from the press, far away from the public eye. One royal didn't stay behind the palace gates. One man chose to act differently. That man was Prince Edward. Without any fanfare, without cameras, without a statement, Prince Edward quietly flew to Paris, to the very place where Diana's life had ended so suddenly. No one from the palace announced it. There was no media coverage. He didn't go for attention. He went because something in his heart pulled him there. While crowds gathered in London, the rest of the royal family kept to their strict protocol. Edward walked the same halls where Diana's body was taken. According to insiders, he made a quiet request that shocked even the hospital staff. He asked to see her, not for duty, not for ceremony, just to say goodbye. This deeply personal moment was never publicly acknowledged, not by the palace, not by the media, and not even by Edward himself. For decades, it remained a hidden act of love and respect, known only to a few who were there. But now, as more truths about Diana's life and death are finally coming to light, this moment can no longer stay buried. Edward's quiet grief, his decision to go to Paris when no one else in the family did, speaks volumes. It reveals a side of him the public rarely saw, not just the quiet royal, not just the obedient youngest son, but a man who felt deeply and who, in the middle of a storm of royal silence, chose humanity over protocol. As the palace faced backlash for appearing cold and uncaring, Edward's silent journey to Paris may have been the royal family's only true moment of grace. And now, decades later, it finally deserves to be remembered, not as a royal duty, but as a brother-in-law's final farewell to a woman the world would never forget. While the world mourned loudly, Prince Edward's quiet farewell in Paris revealed a profound truth. Sometimes, the greatest acts of love happen in silent, unseen moments. Now let's explore the final moments of Princess Diana's tragic story. The final chapter of Princess Diana. In late August 1997, Princess Diana was entering a new chapter in her life. Recently divorced from Prince Charles, she was 36 years old and focused on raising her two sons, Prince William, 15, and Prince Harry, 12. And it was a difficult decision in the end. That's what I wanted. That's what I want. Beyond her royal duties, Diana sought happiness and normalcy, finding a blossoming romance with Dodi Al Fayed, the son of wealthy businessman Mohammed Al Fayed. The couple was enjoying a summer getaway in France, trying to escape the relentless spotlight of the media. On the evening of August 31st, 1997, tragedy struck. Diana, Dodi, their driver, Henri Paul, and a bodyguard were traveling through Paris in a black Mercedes-Benz. They were pursued aggressively by paparazzi, desperate to capture images of the couple. In a desperate attempt to lose the photographers, Henri Paul drove the car into the Pont de l'Alma tunnel, a narrow, dark passage beside the Seine River. The car was traveling at an estimated speed of 121 miles per hour when it lost control. It crashed violently into a concrete pillar, flipped, and came to a stop amid oncoming traffic. Witness Jerome Lamounier later described the terrifying scene. There was this huge, violent, terrifying crash followed by the lonely sound of a car horn. The crash instantly killed Dodi Al Fayed and Henri Paul. Princess Diana, though seriously injured, was still alive and rushed to Pitié-Salpêtrière Hospital. There, doctors fought desperately to save her life, using cardiac massage and electric shocks to restart her heart. Despite their heroic efforts, they could not stop the internal bleeding that was taking her life. After hours of trying, the medical team decided to stop treatment. Diana was pronounced dead just before 5 a.m. on August 31st, 1997. The news of her death shocked the world. Was more than a princess. She was a beloved figure known for her warmth, compassion, and humanitarian work. Her passing marked the end of a life that had captured the hearts of millions. The global outpouring of grief showed how deeply she was loved. Diana's final moments have been revisited in many ways, including in Season 6 of the popular series The Crown. The show carefully portrays the events leading up to the crash and its emotional aftermath. Though the series chose not to depict the actual crash, it features intimate details of her last hours, including a touching phone call Diana made to her sons from the Ritz Hotel shortly before the accident. Her death remains one of the most heartbreaking moments of recent history, a sudden loss that stunned the world. Yet, Diana's legacy lives on through her sons, who carry forward her spirit, and, through the charitable causes she passionately supported. She remains a symbol of kindness and humanity, remembered not just as a princess, but as a woman who used her life to help others. Princess Diana's final moments shook the world, yet her enduring legacy of kindness and strength continues to inspire. Now let's explore Prince Edward's heartfelt reflections on Diana's life and impact. A dangerous truth revealed after more than 6 decades of silence, obedience, and loyalty to the royal family. Prince Edward finally spoke, and the world wasn't ready for what he had to say. For 61 years, Edward had been known as the Quiet One. He never courted attention, never stirred drama, and never spoke out against the crown, while his siblings' lives often made headlines for controversy, scandal, or heartbreak. Edward stayed in the background, quietly fulfilling his royal duties with calm precision. He was seen as the safe royal, the one who would never break protocol or challenge the institution he was born into. But that image shattered the moment Edward opened his mouth. And I think having those times together in the summer allows those relationships. We're a lot more fortunate. His words weren't carefully polished or wrapped in royal politeness. They were raw, emotional, and deeply unsettling. With a voice full of weight and pain, he said, "She didn't deserve any of it. She was more royal than any of us." Those few sentences may have sounded simple, but the meaning behind them struck like thunder. She was Princess Diana, the woman the world still remembers as the people's princess, a royal icon who touched hearts across the globe and suffered in silence behind palace walls. With that one confession, Prince Edward broke a silence that had lasted more than 2 decades. The remark was not part of a formal statement. It wasn't prepared by advisors. It came from a personal, private moment, one reportedly shared with a trusted source. And now that it's out in the open, it has stirred something inside the public and most likely deep within the royal family itself. His words have sparked debate. Was this a moment of personal truth finally surfacing after years of holding it in? Or was it something more, a crack in the wall of royal secrecy that could lead to even bigger revelations? For years, people around the world have wondered what happened behind the palace doors during Diana's time as a royal. Her pain was visible. Her voice, though often silenced, never completely disappeared. And yet the royal family stayed mostly quiet, offering no explanations, no apologies, and certainly no confessions. But Edward's words changed that. By admitting what many had long suspected, that Diana was mistreated, misunderstood, and perhaps even betrayed, Prince Edward rewrote his role in the royal narrative. No longer just the silent brother, he's now the unexpected the Governor General, Your Excellency, and the Prime Minister for your invitation to come and join you today in what is evidently that could shake the foundations of the monarchy itself. Prince Edward's long-held silence has finally been broken, unveiling truths that challenge the monarchy's carefully guarded image. His revelation isn't just about the past, it could reshape the royal story forever. What lies ahead for the crown? Let's uncover the impact. Crown shaken. King Charles is no stranger to pressure. As monarch, he carries not only the weight of the crown, but also the heavy shadow of his past. A past that includes a deeply troubled marriage with Princess Diana, whose legacy continues to shape public opinion of the royal family. Now, with Prince Edward finally breaking his decades-long silence and revealing uncomfortable truths about Diana's life inside the palace, Charles is reportedly shaken to the core. For years, Charles has worked hard to rebuild his image, trying to move forward while keeping painful memories in the background. But Edward's words, gentle, sincere, and piercing, have dragged those old memories right back into the spotlight. And for Charles, that's not just uncomfortable, it's deeply personal. These revelations have stirred up emotions that were never fully healed and forced him to relive a chapter he's long tried to leave behind. Meanwhile, Prince William stands in one of the most difficult positions of all. As the future king, he must protect the image and future of the monarchy. But as Diana's son, he also feels a powerful responsibility to honor her memory and acknowledge the pain she endured. Edward's decision to speak out places William at a crossroads. Should he continue moving forward and focus on modernizing the crown? Or should he pause and help bring closure to a painful royal past? Either way, the choice he makes could define how his reign will one day be remembered. Then there's Prince Harry, the most outspoken of the late princess's children. For years, Harry has spoken openly about how the royal institution mistreated his mother and failed to protect her. He's carried that pain into adulthood and even into his decision to step away from royal duties. Now, with Edward confirming some of the very things Harry has always believed, Harry may finally feel a sense of validation. For once, someone inside the palace, not a journalist, not a friend, but a royal, has echoed his mother's pain. But Edward's bold move has also sparked a new and unsettling question. Who's next? If someone like Edward, long known for staying quiet and loyal to the crown, can come forward and tell the truth, then others might follow. Could more voices from within the palace start to speak out? Could even more secrets from Diana's time emerge? And more importantly, can the royal family survive this new wave of truth? The monarchy was built on silence, tradition, and a tightly controlled image, but the world has changed. People now want honesty. They want humanity. And as more royal truths come to light, the question isn't just about the past. It's about the monarchy's ability to evolve and endure in a time when silence no longer protects, but exposes. King Charles confronts not only his past, but also a turning point for the entire monarchy. As centuries of silence clash with today's hunger for truth, can the royal family endure this new era of transparency? Let's explore how the crown might survive these powerful revelations. Diana's legacy reawakened. Prince Edward's quiet confession has done more than stir up dusty memories. It's opened a wound the royal family never truly healed. His soft-spoken words have brought the world back to a painful past many had tried to forget, but which still lives on in people's hearts. By breaking his silence about Princess Diana, Edward did something powerful. He reignited a global conversation that refuses to be silenced. For years, the royal family has lived behind walls of tradition and silence. Their motto? Never complain, never explain. Help them stay above public drama and emotion. But the world is different now. People want honesty. They want vulnerability. They want to know the truth behind the crowns and titles. And now, more than ever, they're asking, can the royal family survive in a modern world that demands openness? Or will their silence finally crumble under the pressure of truth? Prince Edward's words struck a nerve because they didn't come from anger or rebellion. They came from reflection, emotion, and perhaps guilt. Spoken not by a prince seeking fame or power, but by a quiet man who had seen everything and said nothing until now. His small act of honesty was enough to crack open the image of royal perfection. And once that crack appeared, there was no turning back. What Edward revealed about Diana wasn't just about her suffering. It was about the system that failed her. His statement reminded the world that Diana didn't just break royal rules. She broke expectations, and she exposed the coldness that lay beneath the royal surface. Her voice, once ignored and controlled, is now echoing louder than ever, carried by those who admired her and those who now dare to speak the truth. Diana's story, it turns out, isn't over. It might just be starting again, stronger, deeper, and more honest than before. Her legacy, long wrapped in fairy tale tragedy, is being rewritten with raw emotion and hard truths. People are looking at her not just as a beautiful princess or a victim of heartbreak, but as a symbol of change, of courage, and of the fight for truth inside one of the most powerful institutions on earth. This isn't just about the past, it's about what comes next. Will other royals find the courage to speak? Will the palace finally address the questions it has long avoided? Or will the walls of tradition stand firm even as public trust continues to shift? One thing is clear now, the silence around Diana is breaking. Her story is not fading. It's growing louder, fueled by truth, memory, and the quiet courage of a brother-in-law who finally spoke up. The world is listening again, and this time they want the whole truth. So what do you think about Prince Edward's revelation about Diana at 75? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.